2,422. Too young to be a mother. Wait, how can you hold it like that?
Connected. I'm tilling my virtual farm.
Leave her alone, or I'll block your access. Hashtag pesky parakeet.
Whatever it takes.
You always need wingsuits.
Oh yeah! And to prove that 4 feet are better than 2, it's our favorite unicorn, on
No!
What? What? You told me not to open up.
Really? Where'd you get that jacket? It looks just like one my old friend used to have.
It was my dad's.
Shh. And they call us animals. Let's steal some more stuff, yeah?
Oh, yo, 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 yo.
Orion Pax, D16. What you two did today was one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Oh, are we on now? Okay,
Great.
cool. I know where we were. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today on our first ever live stream with Okuma VFX. Today we have a pretty exciting show for you guys. We have a guest today with a decade worth or more of experience. He's worked on a lot of blockbuster productions like Mandalorian, Jurassic World, Transformer One, and a bunch of other things that you just saw on his demo reel recently. So, just with that, why don't we just jump straight into it? I have here with me Aman Bhanot. Please introduce yourself. Gotta find myself here. Yep. Yeah, and
Hi, I can hear you,
so we're still
Michael, but
running
I
technical
can't
difficulties all morning.
hear him
Uh,
clearly. Yeah, can you hear him clearly?
Sorry, guys, we're still running technical difficulties
His
on our
voice is
stream,
very, very
so
low to me.
we're gonna cut in and out a little bit. We're gonna go fix that right away, and then have Bernard come back. I think it's just a
Should
connection
I
issue.
write it in the chat, Michael?
Hey everyone, sorry about that. We're back now with Aman, I think. Again, this is our first ever stream, so bear with us with any technical difficulties. My name is Buck. I am the host for this session, and joining me this time is Aman Bhanot.
Hi.
Uh, Sorry if the audio is a little off on your side. We don't see Bhanot's face right now in the panel, but he's there. I see him.
Thank you
So
guys.
trust
Thank
and use
you.
imagination.
Right. Thank you guys. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me. My name is Aman, and I'm a senior animator with 17 years of experience. And I would love to help you out with any way I can.
Awesome. Yeah, Aman, I think you have like decades worth of experience. Wait, sorry. Okay, sorry guys. Oh yeah, I see Aman moving. Me? Oh,
You can't hear my audio? Transmission.
uh, uh, sorry everyone. If you can just let us know if you can hear Aman on your side. We just want to try to see if it works, the audio is working or not. Let's see. Aman.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
can you hear me? Hello?
Oh, I hear him.
Right.
I heard him in the stream, so seems to be working. I think.
Yes. Great. No one can hear me, or can they?
Oh, okay. They could hear us.
Nice. Wow,
Awesome.
it's one of those days.
It's always when something starts and it's like last minute. There's always technical
Yes.
issues.
Yes.
That's just life now.
Right.
But yeah, let's get back into it. Aman, can you have plenty of like experience, plenty of experience in the VFX industry as well, just animation in general. Could you just maybe talk us through like your journey as an animator? Like, how did you start? What inspired you? That sort of thing.
Great. Thank you so much for asking me that. I'm actually from a very small town in India called Ambala city, and even to this date, I think 90% of people there don't know what animation is. So if somebody asks me like what you do and I say animation, they look at my face blank and then they say IT. And it's so think about joining animation 17 years ago. So that was even very harder. But I convinced my parents that I can do like a diploma course along with the Bachelor of Communication, and they thought like it's just a hobby thing, and they said, okay, as far as you can do your graduation in this, and you can do this hobby thing on the side. And even though I graduated, then they were very much interested to get for me to get a job. I was getting a job at Google that time, but I was more interested in animation, and they couldn't understand that it's what it is actually. What is animation, and the closest they can get to is like Tom and Jerry, or so very, and nobody in India used watch animation except kids. So in India, it's that kind of scenario. Things might be changing, but I struggled 1.5 year, and I kept thinking like somebody will give me a job, but no one gave. And then I posted online that I will work for free as far as it's a good animation job. So somebody from Spain gave me that opportunity on a short film. I was very lucky to work with them, learn a bit for 6 months straight. And then somebody else gave me a full-time job in Mexico City. So that's where it started. And there I worked on my first feature film for Istanbul. That took me to many more jobs, and fast forward to many countries. I lived in almost, this is my 10th country actually
Wow.
I'm living in. So I traveled a lot for work. And if I talk about freelancing, I think I have worked for more than 35 countries with freelancing only. But it was wonderful experience. And my last job was at ILM. I always wanted to be at Disney.
Mhm.
So in the end, I could work on Transformer with a Pixar director. So that bring the story to life.
Wow, that's awesome. That sounds like very hard, especially like you said 17 years ago. There's not a lot of like online resource like YouTube or just animation school as much. And even then, I think animation school was still very new, and all you have are just if you're lucky, there's private schools in your city, and that's just like wow, that's a tough start. How did you even learn? Because that is it just self teaching? Like oh, I'm just gonna watch a whole bunch of movies and just try to copy it because there's no free animation
Right,
software. Blender was free,
right,
but it was very complicated to use back then.
right. It was very hard, to be honest. And if you have to learn, you would have to. I would have to either go to states or travel or pay a lot of money, which that time my family couldn't afford that kind of. I was looking into prospect of joining Ringling, but of course they have insane fees. Even
Yeah.
even so, I just I just did that very basic diploma, which showed me what animation is.
Hmm.
I could open Maya, I could set a key, make poses, just like what I can explain you in few words. That kind
Yeah.
of teaching. So there was a competition. I think it's still valid, like animation mentor competition, 11
Hmm.
second club.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Uh, so I started doing that actually every month. And
Awesome.
one time I got like 10th in that. So that gave me some confidence. And so there was a lot of motivational, small motivational thing. Like if somebody praised, like, right, if some foreigner that time wrote like very nice, like, wow, I'm sitting in a small city, and this person from abroad is writing me that I must be a special person. So that small motivation just took me forward. And I used to love drawing. I used to love storytelling. I always wanted to just become a director and storyteller.
That's
So
great.
that's the closest thing. But as I was so shy, I couldn't go out and meet a lot of people. That was my closed area. So animation was a thing. But said that when once I got my first job in Mexico, it was already 3.5 years I was trying to do animation.
Hmm.
And I realized that even though I was working 16 hours a day, I was just able to take my animation to that level. Like whatever I do, again and again, I was just getting stopped at that level. My supervisor was trying to explain me things, and I was able to achieve. But I realized that maybe my supervisor also have limited TV series kind of experience, so he can only teach me that much. So then I enrolled to iAnimate after 3.5, 4 years in already in animation industry. I think that gave me a very good push. So I will vouch for students who have basic knowledge to really find online courses and help them push forward. Even if you are in studios, please find time for uh, making your skills, upgrading your skills. And I think once I did one course of iAnimate, after just 2 months later, my salary got doubled because they could see what I was doing. They could see the difference already. So, and from that day onward, I just kept doing whatever I find. I did like uh, uh,
Which classes?
so there are 4 classes of different iAnimate classes. Then I did some direction course. Then I did some writing course. So whatever I was excited, I just kept doing it, and still things excite me. I recently, 2 years back, in during COVID, I did creature animation,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
so I would say self-learning and keep upgrading with whatever resources you have. Don't find issues, find solutions, and there are always many.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Especially now, there's so many resources or free resources. A lot of influencers or just like streamers or just regular YouTube, just content creators, just people like you and me, just animators, helping give back to the community and for those who couldn't afford like the courses because they're like students and everything. So it's a lot more. You have everybody has a lot more resource now, and I agree with you. If you have the, you should make the time to invest in that
Right,
if you have the
right,
opportunity and want to grow.
right.
No, that's awesome. What you said you like drawing too. So did you kind of start out 2D and then change 3D, or do you want always knew that you want to do 3D?
I really wish I would have fought with my parents and joined more traditional art school, and that would have given me that would have helped my hand to do better. But
You
but
just letting the time.
till date, actually till date, I'm still excited about 2D a lot. I directed a 2D animation short film actually uh,
Mhm.
last year, and I also prepared 2 pilot episodes of the series I'm pitching around. So it's still like 2D is very close to my heart. I wish one day I would have that time and resources to sit and just draw nicely, and it will be great. Yes.
Yeah, I think I was looking at your Vimeo yesterday, and I saw like the was it Doors in Life? That one was
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it was great. And I think my first thought was because it's like 2 minutes something. I was like, man, that's a lot of time. How do you?
It's actually 4 minutes. It's actually 4 minutes.
Oh, it's actually 4 minutes. Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Sorry.
it's a lot of time. It took me 8 years of making it. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna ask. It's like, man, for students doing like 30 seconds, that's like a year if you want like really good quality or something. But like for 4 minutes, it's just so hard mentally because you just have to, like you said, for you, you're probably busy with work, go back home, get 1 or 2 hours, have family or
Hmm.
anything in your life going on. It's just like, oh wow, it's hard to just be very consistent. I think that's amazing.
To be honest, it's so painful. I will say now I have a kid. I had a wife. I have a kid. I intentionally stop myself to not think of new ideas, because once the idea is planted and once I start thinking on it, there's no going back. Or once I just did little pre-production, then that story will keep developing forever and ever, whichever side I see, like, yeah, that kid, he can look like this, and that building, then there is no stopping to it. So now these days I try to collaborate more and help
Mhm.
other people in freelancing, or even cutting my fees to half if I'm very excited about the project and they are trying to do something. But that's the extent of it. I still have a lot of cool unfinished pre-produced, like a lot of money invested in those, but I just stopped myself, like I'll not look that side, because I have a small kid, and sometimes I have him in my hand, but I'm thinking of stories and animation, and I feel guilty. So it's that kind of
Yeah.
painful. Before that, I made another film called Killing Annabella. I directed, and
Hmm.
that took me even longer, and it was more ambitious for 12 years. It was 12 minutes, and it took me
Yeah.
around eight years of time to make, and it was much more complex, and yeah, so that was
Yeah.
even harder.
Yeah. I was looking. I saw that as well. And first thing I always notice in like short films is just the length. And I think to myself, man, I wonder how long that took. I know you had a team, but that's still a
Uh,
long time and a lot of dedication. So,
One thing in that note I can suggest, like if somebody's making a short film,
mhm,
like I try to do it with juniors, to try to collaborate with juniors,
that's awesome.
and I realize that the kind of quality I'm trying, I cannot get. And then I slowly start putting a piece of my savings there, like, oh, I will just ask my friend who works in next to me, like, will
That's
you
great.
do it if I give you this much money?
Mhm.
And that's where it started. And then comes a time after 4 years in making, like I started paying full-fledged, like all my savings, like I earn and then I pay them, I earn and I pay them, like full-fledged. I was just hiring people, like I it was that kind of obsession, that I just wanted to complete that film. It's like I felt that that's the purpose of my life, and now I look back, I feel like, why? So,
No, that's great. Yeah, I really appreciate you kind of just helping like the juniors as well, because I think for you as well as me, like we share similarities where when you're just starting out, a lot of companies they want like a junior with like 8 years of experience,
mm,
and then you're like, well, okay, I'm not that, and you just need that opportunity to just do it and just showcase what you have. And I know sometimes for a lot of animators, it can be really difficult to do work outside of your life and to just push yourself, especially when you're starting, let's say, trying to get into the industry. You're you don't have a lot of motivation, or you don't know what to do in a way, and there's not a lot of things to motivate you aside from classes to say, hey, do this exercise, and then when you graduate you have a demo reel and it's not good enough, so you have to put together more stuff, and that more stuff is can be very daunting for a lot of animators, whether you're a veteran or just a junior, because it takes a lot of time, and depending on the person what they have going on, it can be very hard to just be self disciplined and push yourself.
right,
And but I think it's great to have when veterans like yourself give opportunities to those juniors where they just want to have the opportunity to grow uh, and doing just animate. And then if it turns out well, they have more demo reel work, so they get
right,
experience and also just tons of experience in demo reel material.
right. I think that film, if it uh, Killing Annabella, I will say, and Doors in Life too, they did not
Hmm.
earn me anything monetarily,
Hmm.
but one thing was, like, I understand the whole thing. It gave me
Hmm.
so much confidence that now I quit a job in Disney, because I had so much confidence that whatever it is, like I get a very different kind of clients. Even if they are 2D, they ask for storyboard. I know I can, either I can do it or I can get it done.
Hmm.
And but otherwise, if I haven't made those film and I would have just did 3D animation job,
Hmm.
uh, it wouldn't have been possible. Like I wouldn't have been able to see the whole picture. Being said that, that way those short film help. And the way the people were working on my film, now they are mostly at good places. One of them became a
It's
teacher
great.
in local school. One of them opened his own studio. Before that movie, he was an artist. And after that movie, because he did like 12 minutes of renders and lighting and rendering, so he got
Mhm.
so much confidence. And then he showed my movie as a demo. So he opened his own company with that
Awesome.
effect. So that way, and a lot of foreigners also like they saw it, and so that way. Other thing I would love to share is last year I had a student, and she was graduated from a school, but she was very underconfident. And I saw that she has really good technical skill, like she could polish well, and but she joined and she said like, I mark myself as 3 and I don't have any confidence. And I felt very very bad that student even spending 3 4 years in a college but still not having enough confidence. So she did 3 modules with me, like body mechanics, advanced body mechanics, and acting. And you can see her work, like she have done 500 frame of shots, uh,
Whoa.
400 frame of shot of dancing, like those kind
Wow.
of shots she have done, and super fluid. And now she's in a very good position, and I recently offered her internship to work with me. And that way I feel like it's all just fun, to be honest,
Mhm.
for me. And it's really daunting, as you said, that
Mhm.
there's very less hope, like especially these days as the market is down. But if you trust your art and you keep yourself motivated from inside, you see your peers work, you see other people what they are doing, get inspired, and keep yourself going, things will keep changing. It's ever evolving. Studios will come and go, big studios, small studios. You just have to find one job. Is it so
Mhm.
hard in the whole world to find one job? Right? So if you start applying today and keep applying for 10 days, somebody will give you a job. So
Mhm.
that's what I've thought 17 years ago, and that's what I still think, that keep trying. It's not about the job, it's just about that one thing you can do right now,
Mhm.
and keep going.
No, that's great. That's very inspiring. I totally agree with you. It's more of, at least like for a lot of art field, it's all about just repetition and mileage. And right now, just focus on one thing that you want to do. Because when you look at the big picture, it's like, oh my God, I'm working on all this big company or big studios thing. It's like, oh, am I a failure as an animator? Like, he did this for like, he got a big job in like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And I think animators or just people just need to know that everybody kind of grows at a different pace. Some
Hmm.
start really slow, but then once they understand something, something click, they just
Hmm.
shoot up exponentially, and you never know when that is. And some people they pick it up really fast and don't. So people shouldn't be comparing themselves to other animators. Use it. You can use it as a benchmark or like a goal. Like, oh, I want to be able to do this someday, but don't use their timeline. Like, okay, so he went to here in 1 year. He
Hmm.
got to here. Next year he got
Hmm.
to here. It's like, okay, you're gonna stress yourself out a lot, and that
Hmm.
will definitely hurt your mentality a bit more. And I think, like Aman said, it's just sometimes you just need a one opportunity, and just keep applying because you never know when and where. It can just be you met a random person on the street, you talk with them, you have a nice conversation, and somehow you find out you become friends, and later you find out they work at a big studio and they get you in, or maybe they knew somebody. The connection is very weird in our industry. You never know who you kind of are going to meet and how you guys are intertwined. Everybody hears this a lot. Is just the animation industry is very small. Uh,
Yes.
so it's like if you know somebody, some maybe they seem like just a regular student here, but maybe in like a year they'll grow and you guys are best friends. They'll get you in,
Hmm.
kind of like how Aman you had your student and offered that opportunity of internship. So sometimes just I feel bad for saying it's just luck. At the same time, is don't worry too much about what's happening. Just trust the process. Do what you need to do, and like Aman mentioned, just focus on one thing at a time.
Right. I would say it's everybody's personality is different. As you
Mhm.
said, if I'm a very, very positive person, I'm always smiling, people will tend to like me more, right?
Mhm.
If I'm very serious, like when I work, my face is like, so whoever is sitting next to me, they will think like he don't want to talk to you. But that's not the case. It's just like I'm so much in thought. But
Mhm.
that's to say that it's personality. Then it comes your situation. As I said, I'm from a very small city. So
Mhm.
even studios in India were hesitant to give me job, right? So when I was learning, DreamWorks was here in Bangalore, but I couldn't even reach that place, right? So I
Mhm.
couldn't even cover that area. A lot of other people who are who I met in Animal Logic or ILM who joined the same time, but they were from Bangalore. They did a course from Bangalore. So
Mhm.
DreamWork, it was easier for DreamWork, or it was easier for them to bridge the gap, right? So
Yeah.
and it was not. But at the same time, I kept just trying to knock on many doors on LinkedIn, and it just clicked. I just clicked on somewhere, right?
Mhm.
And I took whatever come on my way. So second is your situation. Uh, if somebody lives in states, maybe the big studio don't have to sponsor their visa, right?
Mhm.
And so it would be easier for them to get hired, even if the skills match, right?
Mhm.
If my skill or Mikul's skill are both similar, but a studio has to sponsor my visa to get me there. They have to invest a lot, get me air tickets and stuff. But if Makul is in the same city, living in the same city, to like, that's that will be our first priority, right?
Mhm.
To because it's the same skill. So the second is the situation, which situation you are in, and then the third is how much you try. So I will say I was lucky enough because I kept trying, and one way or the other way, I kept sneaking in from one door to another, and
Mhm.
that is completely true. That whoever you know, like I will say, I never got a job by applying. I always somebody always knew me in all the places where I worked, like, and it was a sequential ladder. It was not
Mhm.
like all of a sudden I got a job in ILM. No, I did 30 other jobs in small studios, and it was just like very small studio, a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger. So that way I took the ladder
Yeah.
from two animator studio to five animator studio to so that way I kept growing. Then ultimately I went to Animal Logic. Why? Because my supervisor in ILP was an animation lead in Animal Logic.
Oh,
So
nice.
so that's how it clicked. Like, so when I gave interview, I said he's my supervisor, and it's like, yeah, if you are working with Niklas, definitely he must be good. So that's how it clicked. So I will say definitely networking. We are talking today. God knows, like in 6 months or in 1 year or in 10 years, 15
Mhm.
years, you you will be head of animation of Pixar, and maybe like, yeah, I know Aman, so you might hire me. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so that's how it works.
Yeah, no, I totally think it's great. I guess like since you worked with like so many like different studios, different variety of studios, because some of them are VFX or most of them are, and some are like cartoony style based on your reel as well. Uh, Kind of let's go jump into like the demo reel stuff. Like I want to ask, like, did you have to cater your animation reel for that specific studio when you apply, or because you said you have network as well, but then for like students who don't have that network yet. They're trying to apply. What do you what kind of tips do you have for them when they apply for studio?
Uh, to be honest, 100% I'm not sure, but 90% I'm sure that when you're applying, look at the studio, see what kind of work they do. If your work is similar, or if you know what project they are working, if they are working on Tom and Jerry, so of course they will love to see something very similar. If you're
Hmm.
showing them Transformer and they're making Tom and Jerry, like it's a very big difference. Of course, if the situation is that you're in the same city, maybe they will hire you for trying and testing. But if they have to sponsor your visa or have to get you from somewhere or have to give you a long contract, or if they have a tight deadline, so things become very, very difficult for them to choose that they have a long list of 200 applicants. They
Hmm.
only have to hire 30 animators. And then they will definitely see like Tom and Jerry, okay, very cartoony work in, very cartoony work in. VFX, very good animator, VFX, feature film, but not same quality. We'll see. So that's how I think it will work. If you are same applies to VFX or game cinematic or advertisements. Till date, people write me yesterday. Somebody wrote me and they said, "We love your reel, but have you done something similar to this?"
Oh yeah.
And it was not in my reel, but I dig in and showed them like, thank you for asking. See, this is similar, and this is what I did 8 years ago. I believe my skills have upgraded, and I can definitely and confidently help you in this. So that way, I will say, if you know, and if you can spend a little bit time to research, that can help a lot. If you see my YouTube, there's every kind of reel: game
Hmm.
cinematic, mocap enhancement, facial animation, cartoony, creature, VFX, direction, all kind of reels are there. And I think, but 10% of time I don't know. 10% of time i I apply and they're like, why do you have everything in your reel? And then when I don't put everything in my reel, they said, you don't have cartooning work in your reel. And
Right.
I just missed my chance. So
Yeah.
now I make a reel with everything in it,
Hmm.
so that I can say that you tell me what you want to see more, or at least it opens up. I'm still not sure that it convinces or confuses them.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's you're right in the sense of not knowing what to expect. It's hard to cater, just because a lot of times you have studios that have NDA, for example. So they said, we're looking for an animator to do this game or this movie, but we can't tell you what it is yet. And then you're like, okay, well, I hope it's this sort of thing that I have, because you never know if it's going to be cartoony, super realistic, or just a lot of mocap stuff. And like you said, like maybe they just want somebody with a lot of mocap experience, but they don't put that in the job description as well. So it's hard to cater everything. But I guess if you were gonna make a general one, what would you say? What would you recommend for the animator to focus on? Like, would it say more creatures, more body mechanics, more acting, that sort of thing?
Two things here. First of all, if you have the graduation and you already know your passion, like if your passion is in games or in feature or in VFX, so firstly, definitely you already have the answer there. And then you said, I want VFX, but I want to do creature shot, and I want to be specialized in dinosaurs. So I know an animator
Mm,
who can do A quality dinosaur, and that's mostly what he got jobs for. So just to
nice.
animate dinosaurs. So that way, you know your passion. And I have student. I That's way I think you should move forward. Like if you want to be strong game cinematic animator, focus more on body mechanic. If you want to be a feature film animator, maybe focus on acting shots, or similar to just imagine that this shot will be in Moana. Like how should it look? So, and then they do that kind of acting practice and work with them.
Yeah, no, I think that's great and head on. If you have if you definitely know what you want to get into, you kind of already have a good direction for that reel already. And if you don't, I mean, I think that's perfectly fine as well. You're just trying to find out what you're trying to get yourself into, because sometimes students might not know if they want to do games or VFX or anything like that. And it's hard for them to just make a decision when they haven't experienced it yet. But like Aman said, just from if you want to try to just get into more feature and stuff, definitely try having more acting, having more creatures if you want to approach that step, or if certain VFX sort of thing. And games tend to have mocap and body mechanics, and those kind of things are great to focus on. So it's like Aman said, just the first step is figuring out or making a decision. It doesn't have to be right. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be your passion. You can change it
Yeah.
later on.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, maybe now I want to try games. Like, oh, okay, I'll focus this for games, and then later on, like, no, maybe not game. I like features. I'll do this for feature, and I think
Right.
that's perfectly fine. Like what Aman says, just
And
figure
industry
out.
keeps changing. Like when
Yeah,
Games of Thrones releases, everybody wanted to do dragons. Then when Spider Verse releases, everybody wanted to do Spider Man, right? So,
yeah,
and now there's a lot of hype of cartoony animation because the industry is shifting toward more snappy animated feeling, and those kind of
mhm.
projects are more produced. So it keeps changing. You can keep getting inspired like that, and
Yeah. Let me play Aman's video really quick. And believe this is your a general reel for you, right, Aman?
yes, yes.
Okay. Let me.
But I hear the voice. Yeah, if you can mute it, then
Yeah, I'll just put this down. There's some audio in there, but you'll see in the beginning when you guys go back and watch the beginning of the video, it has audio in it already too. So I'll just
right,
mute this so that we can talk over it.
sure.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good kind of just like rule. I get people. A lot of people will say cater to the company, and I think that's true to an extent. Like you said, I mean, we don't really the 10% you don't know what to expect sometimes. Sometimes you just apply to a studio and suddenly like, oh, they want cartoony, but I don't have cartoony, or it might not be. You think they're cartoony, but they're doing something completely different. So it's a matter of just to research to an extent, and
Yeah,
then what we mentioned earlier about just knowing what kind of industry is in. Is it going to be a feature? Is it going to be games? So you know whether to focus on acting, biomechanics, creatures. But sometimes if you're starting, you don't have a lot of stuff. I think just a general one, a little bit of each is just as good. Show them a little bit of what you can do. Um, but do you have a certain formula when you, I guess, put a reel together, because you know how they always say like put the strong one, your best piece first
right,
and last, that
right,
sort of thing.
right. I will say keep it. Well, you can see my reel is quite big, but I will say keep it short. I have, of course, so many years of work, and I
Mhm,
still have to cut down. I think in the end, I just added what I find out that on YouTube, sorry, on LinkedIn, people like the most.
mhm,
And I thought like these pieces people are liking more,
mhm,
and they are more technically strong or
mhm,
creatively strong. People like it. So those shots I majorly placed in there.
mhm,
And there was some of the time when people ask me for work. People were took my interview and they said we want cartoon stuff, like especially this play blast you see of monkey.
Mhm.
That is like from 2013. It's a 10 years old work, but
Mhm.
it is hand posed. Like I did 2D on top. I did it like ball bounce, and I
Oh, nice.
deform. I did frame by frame posing in that. And then I found like if somebody's looking for cartoony work and they did frame by frame, they will realize that I know about spacing and arc strongly.
Mhm.
My basics are strong. So that's why I gave a variety of work there. Last year, I was hired for DNEG. Even though I was showing Peter Rabbit 2 reel, they were not convinced. They said, "Oh, we have a very cartoony project." So I showed them a project which I thought is very it's not good enough because I did 2 seconds every day. It was a very
Mhm.
tight deadline, but they like it. They wanted to see that kind of work. They thought that that's what it matches to their project. That birds you will see in middle somewhere. So
Mhm.
that's what I wanted to say. That it's a general reel to showcase that I can do all of those things. I can do Dragon. I can do Mandalorian. I can do Transformer. So yeah, I can do
Yeah,
creature work.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I guess for you, and when you look at reels, either like just from your peers or if you are looking to hire as well for your projects, what kind of things do you look in, or what things kind of stand out for you when you see a reel?
I think two things. First of all, like I said, for studio, I will do it for myself also. Like for those in life or for Killing Annabella, if in the reel they have similar work which matches my vision, definitely it's a go, right? So
Hmm.
that artist, he was very junior, but he had the style which my film needed. So
Hmm.
I knew that if I hire him, he can do this specific work. So that thing worked. And then second is technically, like if I have to supervise them a lot, then it's in a similar time I can do it myself. Like so those
Hmm.
kind of technical strongness. So if I see a reel, I will try to see a pattern. Like if spacing is off, if I find one shot where spacing is off, then I will start watching it again and again, and I will see like, yeah, spacing is weak in all of the shots. So
Hmm.
this guy, I would have to give a lot of notes about spacing,
Yeah.
right? So that way, I try to see that I look in and I see like, oh, the posing is strong in all the shots. So and in my project is more of a stop motion kind,
Hmm.
so it requires more pose to pose animation. So if his poses are already strong, so that way I think I personally look into. Even if I am, when students are contacting me, I see their reel and like, their process is wrong. So that is a
Hmm.
very hard one because then I have to make them unlearn whatever they do. So some people are all over the place. They just start animating and put a key everywhere,
Hmm.
animate the hand in one frame, then another hand in one frame, and their animation is it's very hard to clean up their
Yeah.
that work. So that's what I look for, the technical side as well as the similarity in the work.
Yeah. No, I think that's kind of spot on. I think you mentioned earlier, like just to keep it short, right? What would you say is like the do you have a magic range for a short reel? I know the one we're showing is just a show reel of everything, so it tends to be
Hmm.
long. I think a lot of animators kind of use this kind of as a guide, like, oh, but then this person with a lot of years experience have like a 5 minute reel. How come that's okay? But
Hmm.
I think they need to know like it's when you're a recruiter or something looking, they don't know, they're looking at hundreds of thousands of reel, and 5 minutes from everybody is going to be like hours of watching. So it's this is kind of just I think believe just more of a showcase for the community and just like those who really want to see more of what Ahmed can do. um, is just like here's all the stuff, but when I'm applying I have this reel specifically for you. Is that the same for you, Ahmed, where you just have a short and concise reel. Like here's my game, like you mentioned in your Vimeo, there's a gaming reel, feature reel. Do you have a magic number of how short it is?
Yeah, I think any recruiter, like even us, like if attention span is so small these days, like nobody has more than 15-20 seconds of attention span. Like if we try to watch a Netflix series these days, I think that, oh, by the time he will go from this position to that position, maybe I'll just go check out my LinkedIn. So that's kind of attention span has now, and that way I think somewhere between 30 to 40 seconds. 40 seconds, safe number. 40 to 45, it can go to 50, it can remain 35. So, but why I said keep your strong work in, because when you are starting up and you have limited work, don't try to fill in. Just see, like, just show to layman, just show to your family, just show to your peers and friends, and show different shots many times. And like, but this shot is not good, right? Be critical about your own work. And if they said, yeah, this is not as strong as the other, just take that out. So it's better to have 30 seconds instead of 40. And but if it looks weak, it will be hard. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I it's a very good point, because sometimes people would try to just fill out that gap. It's like, oh, I won't have 10 or 15 seconds of work. And then Alma said, I need at least 30 seconds. So like, I need to find like 15 seconds to fill it out. But they put in a bunch of like weak stuff that makes like the recruiter or whoever's looking question them. Like, oh, it's like I think you mentioned earlier, Aman, like the person with like, let's say, like spacing and everything. You don't want to give them doubt and second guess your work. If you have like all strong work, it's like, wow, all this guy's stuff is great. I don't see he's perfect or has good technical skill or whatever. And I think like if you show just maybe one or two things, like, oh my god, is it posing for this one shot is kind of weird, and then like Aman, he second guessed, like, oh, I'll go back, like, oh yeah, his other shot, the pose is kind of weird too. So you don't want to give them a reason to
put your strong foot forward, definitely.
Oh yeah.
And if somebody is working on a project which is more of the face heavy, like I recently started working in Unreal, and it's a lot of meta human face setup. So I have a separate reel for that, and so they don't need to see all this cartoony stuff, right? So it's like, yeah, cool, but our project is more of a meta human, realistic, and it's mocap heavy. So then, of course, like that reel in the interview, if this reel can get them in the interview and they start talking to me, then of course I can like I just want to know what is your project, so I take the sample and very quickly show them, and it helps. Yeah, something is a little different, which may or may other animators will not agree with me, is that something which makes me different is that I'm excited about everything. If you come up with a prospect like, oh, we are making a short film for museum, like, oh, I'm super excited. Even if that is not a demo reel piece at all, I'm super excited. If somebody's doing a stage show where it is going to be 80 minutes of animation and I have to do 20 seconds, but it's a very cool story, I'm excited. If somebody's doing Minecraft, I'm excited about everything, as you can see in my reel. So now I'm more confident to say that that's who I am, instead of saying, please hire me, I can do it for you, whatever, right? So this is the same sentence, it's just presented differently, and it require, like, you should trust your work, and you should be passionate and confident, and then only you can love your work.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, for the viewers, we're just trying to, somebody submitted a reel for us to take a look at and review.
I'll be king undisputed, respected, saluted, and seen for the wonder I am.
They said my boogie is dead.
Me too. I want to dance just like you. Nuts and I will be with you the whole way.
Very, very nice. Very nice work, friends. Very nice. A lot of variety. As I was telling you, can you mute it? As I was telling you before, I try to see a pattern in the work, and I feel in all the shot, if one thing France can work on in general is the timing. And when I say timing, I see a pattern in his work that he's never using a lot of holds, that the character is always moving. And there is a natural sense, it's very good personality. He knows lot about principle, especially posing is very expressive. The arcs are good, and the spacing is also not bad. It's almost there, but it's the timing actually. So, and in timing in general, it's the hold which is not being used. So if you practice timing along with slow in, slow out, overshoot, and holds, if you try to do more practice in that sense, and just do basic assignment, uh, I think you will start seeing little difference in your work. And right now, your characters, it's first of all, it's very good work. Congratulations. But if you want to take it to even next level, uh, just see, just just track any moment in your work, and you will see that it is just keep moving forever. It's just moving, moving, moving. There should be a confident stop that the character is moving and like, but right, and then a rhythm, a variety in different, going from one action to another. Even in a single shot, there should be three rhythms in a dialogue, in an acting shot, and that will give you a lot of confidence in providing the work. Yeah, I hope that helps.
Cool. Let's see what Franz has to say. There's like a 10-15 seconds delay on the stream, so he might not. We have to wait like 10 seconds or something. But yeah, no, I think it's a lot of good work on Franz for sure.
Can you start the sync so I can draw over here?
Yeah.
Is the sync on?
I think the sync's on.
Yeah. Can you do this?
I think you can just join sync, right?
Yeah, I'm syncing, but I cannot see that on the screen.
Oh, it's weird. Okay, how about now? Okay, I'm seeing what you're moving.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Cool.
So, if we take this shot, for example, and we track the nose arc, that's all, right? So you see, it goes down, it goes left, it goes up, left, and up, right? So you see, this was very. It's always moving, and given that he has such a big body and such a big head, this kind of character cannot move so much. Let's say we have creative freedom, we took that decision that he will move, but that way we are losing weight. If you would have thought more about the weight and move his head thinking that this piece of mass is of this much weight, so that will give you a lot of sense of how much you should move and how much you should hold, right? So this kind of fast movement, even though you did very nice squash and stretch, right? It's noticeable. That's why I said you have nice You know how to anticipate, you know how to use your squash and stretch. So that's all good, but use holds more. If we have to go from one place to another, see like if you can slow in, slow out, use bigger spacing, and then slow in, slow out again, and then use a bigger hold to get it noticed. So that will make it more impact. Same thing here. So she's moving, moving. Like so, this was the opportunity for creating a hole. Like she comes into the pose here, 483. But and until this point, 490. It's only 7 frames of hole, but you moved her so much in that 7 frames also that that pose, even it is a strong pose, it's not getting the emphasis which it should. So a lot of movement. She goes left, keep moving. Then the hand moves. That's a good take. Always moving. So yeah, everywhere I'm just trying to make the same point. If you have any questions, I'd love to take on. Thank you.
Okay. Hmm.
Is there more animation on Sync Sketch?
Uh,
Where can you give me the again?
yeah. 1 second.
Okay.
Uh, just want to make sure, Franz, you have any additional question you want to ask Ahmed? Either to just Ahmed to just elaborate more or any more samples, things to clarify, stuff like that. Well, I look for the link. Let's see, 1 second.
Okay. Okay.
Great, cool. Looks like Franz good understanding with like the holds and everything. So let me share the work that Michael was talking about. Thank you, Franz, for just showing us your reel and let us watch it and critique your work. Hopefully, you got something out of it and it's helpful towards you upgrading your skills. Let me share.
Thank you.
Let's see, 1 second. So, this one. Okay, this one I'll just put it here. Okay. The audio keeps coming back. I don't know how to make it stop every time. But yeah, this is the link you're talking about, right, Michael? Awesome.
Very nice. So really good use of smear frames, good use of nice posing. Posing can be a little better somewhere, but in general, the holds and clarity is there. Good use of camera work as well, and yeah, some it's just like wonderful. I just love it, and going in the right direction.
Yeah, I think it's
Great
great.
work. Yeah.
I think the thing that stood out for me in a positive way is just like the rhythm that you were talking about, especially with the sound. It's go ha 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 ha.
Right,
So
right,
it's
right.
so having that audio cue is already great to get the rhythm, and like you
Exactly.
said, it helped push that push that hold that you were talking about with Ron's a bit earlier. It's just
Right.
having that like oh ba 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 ba. It's not just
Hmm.
ba 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 ba. It's
Yeah,
not
right,
very
right, right.
monotonous. I think that's
Hmm.
that's great. And like you mentioned, like the smear itself are really fun.
That's the thing about smear. Like they should be felt and not noticed.
Yeah,
So it's a great use if we use it in the right way.
yeah, I totally agree. It's I think people often say like for stylized animation you should feel it and not see it. Like I think there's games that are very stylized. I believe like League of Legends is one of them where they have super cartoony and stretchy stuff. But because of the perspective and everything, it's kind of just hard to you don't really notice the super stretchy unless they made it very very obvious. But it's just really nice and to
Yeah,
see it.
yeah. It should not be rubbery, and
Hmm.
that way it feels good.
Yeah, I think the yes,
Mhm.
sorry, yes, and this is Hung Vo's work as
Very
well.
nice.
So great stuff from him.
Right.
Yeah,
Very nice work, Hango.
yeah. I mean, definitely. I'm kind of curious to what his reference was. You know, like
Hmm.
if he acted it out himself, if he uh, just stitched it together from a whole bunch of different reference that or different video reference he sees, or there's one specific one. I'm always curious about people's reference as well. It's just
Yeah.
kind of nice to see it, the thought
Right.
process.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And reference, and then taking it from reference to the final product. That's a journey which inspires the other, and give your voice a nice outlet.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. For me, sometimes I find some reference are kind of boring, like aspect of it. Like maybe the timing is a little bit boring here, and then it makes you, but the pose are great, and you just want to push everything more. And I think, like you said, it's just a great outlet to just uh, add in your own personality to the type of work that you do. Uh, and I think similar to like what Franz says, there's a lot of dialogue stuff. You can it feels like there's not enough hold, but you can make it feel like it works sometimes. Make some part more
Hmm.
subtle, add more contrast,
Hmm.
and I think that
Yeah.
that kind of thing is just help
Yeah.
push that timing or that pose even more. Kind of like
Right.
with this one with Hung's stuff,
Right.
having certain holds, pushing that it helps push that rhythm more.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, good luck to France and everyone listening to us today, and happy animating. And thank you so much for joining us today. If there's anything more, please help us by writing to us, and I'll be really happy to help you in any way I can.
Awesome. Yeah. Just one quick little thing before we go. I just want to have a shout out to Okuma VFX. Thank you guys for having me on and hosting. Thank you, Aman and Michael. The viewers might not see Michael, but he's hiding in the background, running all the tech, trying to fix everything right now. Just want to share his let me see, website where Aman is also a mentor as well. So if you like the review that you had today and want to get more of his class, check out Okuma VFX. Let me see where that link is. 1 second. .com up here. And of course, this is we'll have a lot of courses for modeling, animations, rigging, as well as effects, special effects. So for those who are interested in learning more about these courses or these departments, feel free to check out the website. That's ookuma.com, vfx.com, and you can check out some of the instructors, their experience as well. Watch it. This stream is can be recorded, so those who have not or are not there to witness it live, feel free to come back and just watch it later on. And that's it, I believe. Is there anything else that I might be missing?
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Happy animating. See you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.